Hey, Karen, I'm so happy to see you. I love recording more than one pod in a day. I think it's fun.
I think it's very fun, especially when it's only two.
Yes, right. When it's not five.
Yeah, no. Two, I feel like we still have tons of energy.
Yes.
We're not regretting our life choices. Like, yes.
Yes.
Two is the perfect number. And happy day after Pride to you.
Yes. Happy day after Pride. That's so what is there a big celebration in Chicago?
Yes. So the Pride Parade, the actual Pride Parade is the last Sunday in June, which is commemorates Stonewall, right? The Stonewall riots in New York, right? So a lot of cities have their exactly this or the 20, whatever day that is.
Yeah. I don't know, 26 maybe. Anyway, yes.
Yes. And so, but of course, June is Pride Month. So, I mean, Chicago has had Pride events like I think every day there's been something, which is awesome. And we keep like multiplying festivals. Like it used to just, to my mind, there used to just be the Pride Parade. And then on the Saturday before Pride, there was the Dyke March. And now there's Pride in the Park and the Pride Festival and the Pride, whatever.
Amazing.
So, yeah, just rainbow colored everything.
Are you going to be going to the Pride Parade at all? Or I guess that would be past tense now. Did you go?
I know, right? Did I go? Future you?
Yes.
I'm assuming I went, I feel like it's the first, right? It's the first one in 2 years.
Yeah.
My friends and I used to do something called parading the parade. The boys coined this term because so they changed the parade route in Chicago and now all of the floats line up on my street. Not like my actual street, but I live right off of Montrose, and east of me on Montrose, they shut off the street and all of the floats are there like staging to go on the route.
That's so cool.
It's closed to traffic, but you can still walk through there. And so my friends and I would just like walk down Montrose with our cocktails, see the whole parade. People are like hyped, getting ready to like, they're still energetic and not drunk yet.
So fun.
And then we'd get to the start and just be like, okay, well, we're done. We saw the whole parade.
That's perfect. That's the best way to see that, because then you're not like dealing with shitty crowds or like, people 6 deep or, people, puking on you or falling on you or sweating on you or any of the things. Or just being happy. And maybe I'm just a curmudgeon and like, it's actually wonderful.
You do you.
Yeah, you do you. Exactly. That's amazing. That also reminds me, when this comes out, I will still be in the Bay Area. So I could go to Pride in San Francisco. I should. There's no reason not to. My mom and my sister will be visiting. That's a really great idea. I should definitely go. Yeah. I should definitely go for sure. That would be amazing. Love that.
Yeah.
Need to make sure to schedule that in or have already scheduled that in. Weird future. But yes, I am really excited. I will say that I'm still coming off of our pod that we literally just finished 30 seconds ago about what we would say to our 21-year-old selves. There were a lot of interesting revelations in that episode. And listeners, if you haven't caught it, recommend. Yes.
Yep. Nope. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. But today's episode is a little bit different, which I also love. Like this idea of logging off, living our analog life. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And inspired for me by, so I am still in this in-between period. I left my last job. My new job doesn't start for a few days now. I have this week off. Actually, it ends up being like 10 or 11 days. And I have just loved being outside and not being in front of my computer really at fucking all. And just running errands just for the sake of it. Spending a gazillion, don't get me started on gas prices, spending a gazillion dollars on gas for my tiny car, but every day, just like making sure I'm outside and doing things. And it's just been awesome to just unplug, log off.
That's so amazing. How does it make you feel? Does it like bring down anxiety or bring up, feelings of happiness, or what does it feel like to you?
Oh my God. It feels like euphoria. It really does. I know that sounds cheesy. Yeah. No, I love it. I ran errands today. Like it was my job to run errands and it was so much fun.
That's so awesome. Like just like going from like shop to shop and like, you're just, kind of like, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. I know how to get there. Like my beautiful car is going to get me there. That's really fun.
Well, also the magic of, I know I said this earlier, I forget if I said it on the pod, but like today I had a doctor's appointment at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Doctor Costco, Target, Home Depot before 10:30 a.m.
Oh,
I'm saying,
bam.
like,
What?
literally
There's nothing better.
before 10:30. And it's also this experience of like, oh, at 9:15 on a Wednesday morning, there's no line anywhere.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
fucking magic.
Isn't that magic?
Yeah.
Also, just like not being in front of Zoom all the time. Although I know we're in front of Zoom right now. I'm happy to be in front of Zoom with you, but most Zooms, not so much. And so it's like, because you're not moving your body. Like when you're going to Costco, Home Depot, all of these different places, going to the gas station, you're actually using muscles. Like that's amazing.
And breathing outside air, hot outside air, but outside air.
Yes.
Yeah.
So huge. I totally get it. I mean, I had a moment a week or so ago where I was like, I'm off Instagram. I'm done for the entire summer. I kind of hit a wall. I was like, I could not do any more of the, just sad news constantly. Like it was like, the scrolling and then not knowing what I was going to consume when I scrolled. And then it was just like shocking and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it's weird to me a little bit because it does intersect with like, amazing artists and poets that I follow. And it's like, okay, I'm also not seeing their stuff. But at the same time, it makes it so I have to focus on my analog life, which is super weird, Karen, because here's the thing. I hate admitting this. I really do. This is embarrassing. And I feel a little bit of shame around it. But now that I'm not on Instagram, I'm looking at my phone and I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. And so, like, I'm checking LinkedIn. That's my new thing. What the fuck? Who gives a shit about LinkedIn? Nobody. Yeah, that's really sad. And so like then I've realized that I'm checking LinkedIn and I'm like, do I care about LinkedIn? No. I mean, I know a lot of people care about it. Cool, you do you, but that's just not my platform. I'm on LinkedIn, but like what? Yeah. And it's so business and it's like this is not anything that has to do with anything that's, otherwise, excuse me. The only exception to that is Tanya Israel did post about our podcast yesterday and tagged us. And that was really cool because I was like, ooh, fun, something fun on LinkedIn. But after I was like, so great to have you on the pod. That was the end of that dopamine hit. And so like I needed to kind of move on. So I'm with you. I feel like living my analog life is a little bit more challenging than I really anticipated because I just feel like I'm tethered to this piece of plastic. But that doesn't mean I can't break the habit. I don't know. It's a process.
And I feel like you live in one of the most beautiful parts of the country. And I feel like you're out in the world more than you, or maybe that's the way it looks from here. You're out in the world, like y'all are rafting and hiking and you've got mountains and rivers and all kinds of stuff. Like, I just feel like you're out living an analog life in a completely different way than I am in flat ass Chicago.
Really? Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it fascinating how the perceptions are so different than like what we are experiencing in our own perception of reality? Because the way I think of you, Karen, is that you're walking around Chicago and seeing all these incredible cultural sites and like you're going into like slipping into the State Theater for a matinee, and then who says matinee, but that's not the part. But anyway, but like like kind of like going to an amazing spoken word show on the weekends and like that kind of stuff. Like that's the analog life that I miss in Bend, where I don't want to bash Bend. I love Bend. You're right. There are amazing hiking trails and all the things. And yet, I guess that's just an example of like, it's good to just like where you are and just open your eyes, just open the door to your house, basically. Breathe air.
Yes. I had a friend once who told me to bloom where you are planted. And I was like, you go fuck yourself. Fucking job. This is my coworker at the time. I hate this fucking job. Yeah. But yes, I agree. Open the door. And I don't know what has happened. It is warmer here now more consistently.
Yeah.
But I all of a sudden am going for walks every day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I did a calm walking meditation today.
Ooh, that's a thing.
Yeah, Tamara was telling me to smell myself or smell things. I don't know what she was talking about.
Smell things, smell yourself. Cool.
Yeah.
It's all meditative.
Right. But yeah, I feel like I was like such a brat about, my therapist told me to go for a walk and I was like, you're putting a lot of pressure on that walk. Not going to solve all this shit for me.
Yeah, that's when you need to go on a walk. I mean, right? Like but I'm with you. What is it going to solve? But then it's like, oh, maybe the ice around my anxiety will actually thaw a little bit, or, hopefully melt off. I will
Yeah.
say that it's nice to be in the warm weather now, like, because Bend is finally warming up a little bit. Last weekend it was really cold, but then now it's like in the high 60s, low 70s. And it's like, oh man, I want to be
Mm.
outside. It's just a good reminder that this is not just a summer thing, though. To be outside can be all the time. Today's episode of Course I'm Not Okay, the podcast, is brought to you by Gross Humor. You know the humor, people. The humor where people make fart jokes when they're 54. The humor where people talk about their diarrhea and they're like, just in a really funny way. And like that somehow, specifically for, I'm just going to be generalized about this, for the male population, never gets old. Never, never, ever.
So thank you so much, Gross Humor, for sponsoring today, because my experience with you has to do with periods. Like, I have a very gross, I feel like, just very candid approach talking about periods that I feel like my friends didn't always appreciate, but here we are.
Here we are. We are here for it. I am totally here for the period humor. It's like the poop humor that just like, I don't know. It doesn't.
So here's the only kind of poop humor I'm here for. I have friends who influence. So glad we're having this conversation.
That sentence. Okay, this is the only type of poop humor, as you're saying.
Yep. Get ready, everybody. This is going to be really profound. I have a group of guy friends, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not just guy friends. I feel like I have had conversations, I shouldn't just say it's the boys, with multiple groups of friends about the time that they pooped their pants, like after childhood.
Oh, that is such a topic. That
Yeah.
seems like a very hot topic right now, actually. Like, I'm not even kidding. I hear about this on podcasts all the time.
What?
I do. I'm actually not kidding. Like, I hear about it all the time. Like, I hear about it on YouTube videos. I have, within the past 2 years, I've probably heard about it like 10 times. Celebrities talking about when they shit their pants. All these different people talking about when they shit their pants. This is clearly a thing. If you shit your pants, people, you are not alone.
Oh my God.
Okay, so please continue.
I just need to let that sentence have some air around it. If you shit your pants, people, you are not alone. I feel like just need some space to just land.
Yes, you're right.
Oh,
You're so right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just such a common thing that now people finally it's coming to light. We're all in this together.
oh my God. I mean, I don't know what it makes it so funny, but I'm just thinking of and here's the other thing. I'm sure we have been not sober while we're telling these stories, but I remember everybody's poop stories. Like,
do you really?
I mean, I remember a lot of them because they're really funny.
Yeah. And that's wonderful. It's like a shared sense of humanity. Like, see, for some reason, that is funny to me. For some reason, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the only one that's the only poop humor that it gets me.
Yeah,
It gets me.
totally. It does. It gets me too. Well, thank you, Gross Humor, for sponsoring today's show.
Yes, absolutely. It's just easier now.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like, how is your plant habit going? This reminds me.
Great question. So my plant habit is going really well inside and not
Okay.
so well outside. So I have a whole situation, actually. Thank you for asking. So my indoor plants are pretty much thriving. I will say the majority of them. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, am I killing you? Probably. If it's a succulent, it's going to die. But like beyond succulents, like most of them are okay. But the thing is outdoors, we have these rock chucks. I don't know. I probably have told you about these. They're like these marmots. It's a rodent. So it's kind of like, gosh, there's nothing like it in the Midwest. It looks like a beaver without the big tail. Like that's
Wait,
kind
what?
yes, it's very large. I mean, well, it depends on which one you're looking at, but I have a whole family that lives in my backyard. And I went to Lowe's the other day and they have a very wonderful outdoor plant selection. I was like, oh, this is great. I'm going to spend $75 on really beautiful plants. And so I come home, put them in a flower bed, and the next morning they're just stalks. They're just cut off because all of them have been eaten. All of them. They were just a full on ponderosa smorgasbord for these fucking rock chucks, which PS, if people are like, what's a rock chuck? It's technically called a yellow bellied marmot. I know, like, if you're a naturalist, you're probably just rolling over right now, but we call them rock
Oh
chucks up here, people. And so
my
like they
God.
live in rocks and they hibernate. I think it's something bizarre. It's seriously, I think 8 to 9 months out of the year, you don't see them. And then they come out and eat every fucking thing in sight and they chirp really, really loud. Anyway, this is a major tangent on rock chucks. But to your point about the plants, they, yeah, my outdoor plant game is really non-existent. And that's okay. I'm kind of just letting it go. I'm like, you can just go ahead and eat all my shit.
Like, no, but the next day,
The next day. Oh yeah, the next day. Within 24 hours for sure. I mean, they were beautiful. So beautiful. I had specifically gotten all of these, I don't know what they were, some sort of perennials that were like some of them were white and some of them were purple and they were like mixed and it was like, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful. This is going to be nope. Nope."
mm,
But yes, going outside and that is an analog activity to
absolutely.
be outside planting. You're right. And it's actually an analog activity to be inside, even if you have a little cacti that you can keep alive. That's analog.
I will be laughing about the Ponderosa salad bar for the rest of the day. That's fucking hilarious. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm not actually that mad about it. I think it's kind of funny because there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Like we've gone to all the different nurseries. Like I mean, truly, I mean, I'm in their territory. They're not in my territory. Like I'm trying to
Mm,
be like, like understand the actual situation. Like I'm ruining their habitat. So like go ahead, eat all my shit. Like I'm happy to spend $50. I'm not going to spend any more than that or $75, whatever I spent at Lowe's. But the thing is that, it doesn't make my backyard look that good, but they're fatter now. Good for them. They're pretty big.
oh
No,
my
no body
God.
shaming of rock chucks, but yeah.
Body positivity,
Yes.
rock chuck body positivity movement. Wow,
Yeah.
I learned something today. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I had never heard. I think they really are like a Pacific Northwest thing, or maybe just like Central Oregon thing. I'm not really sure. But you have plants in your house too, and that's an analog activity to like look at them, view
I
them, water
do.
them.
Well, indoors, and yes, and so last year I mentioned on the surprise episode, last year, Ginger Buddha and Americano Angel redid my back porch with all these flowers.
Oh yes, that's so nice.
And so I let them all die. I mean, my back porch until this week looked like a graveyard. It was very, very, very sad. I just let all the plants die and I didn't do anything with them. And I'm sure they were
Yeah.
both mortified by this. So this week I spent way too much money. It started with a flower at the farmer's market, and that just set me on fire. And then I went to a really, really expensive garden center here to support a small business. And then I went to Home Depot. But yeah, no, I've like planted, I think I have like 10 things out there right now,
Do you
including a basil
really?
plant. Oh yeah.
You have a basil plant?
I
Oh my
know.
gosh, Karen, that's so exciting. That is therapeutic shit when you plant stuff like
Oh my
that. Like
God.
putting your hands in dirt and like doing things like that.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's just my back porch. Like I don't have a garden outside, but
Yeah.
it's so good and soothing. And it's been so much fun.
That's so wonderful. I'm so happy for you. And then when you sit back there, I'm sure you look at them and then you're like, this is
Yes.
amazing. Look at my
Yes.
amazing, beautiful plants.
Yes.
That's incredible. It's a good reminder actually, because if people don't want to go outside or if they have like, they're not feeling good, I hate to say it, a lot of people are getting COVID right now that I know, but like you can still do analog things indoors. It's okay. Open your window. Like that's nice. Look at a plant. That's nice. Also, like analog things can be non-nature things if that's your preference, like journaling or drawing something. You don't need a ton of like
Ooh.
pencil, like you can just use a normal pencil and a piece of paper. You don't have to go to a, you know, art store and buy a bunch of stuff. That's always my thing. I'm like, I can't be artistic until I go and buy a million paints and like buy a perfect canvas. And then I don't do anything with the stuff.
Exactly.
Ugh.
All of my like unfinished coloring books, I swear I'm going to sit down and just like color to mellow out.
No, totally. I have a, what is it? A coloring book, a mindfulness coloring book for adults with anxiety. That's literally what the cover says. And I was
Yep.
like, this sounds like me. Awesome. And so I bought it, of course, for like $15. What? And it's like not even that, but it's fine. And then I was like, oh, I should buy the companion, colored pencils, which I have colored pencils at home, but no, these are really cute colored pencils. So why not buy more things? And so then I buy them and I'm carrying them around with me. The other day I was coloring on a plane next to Tyler and he's like, oh, that's nice. You're coloring. Is it reducing your anxiety? I'm like, no, like, it's not. But at the same time, I was coloring and watching a movie on a plane. So that wasn't that what it was. I was stacking activities and one of them was not analog. So note to self.
Yep. I mean, it's a cocktail of things you were trying.
It was. Yeah. It was a cocktail.
Yeah.
Some of it was toxic. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting how little I think we think about how things are either analog or not. Like, I think that there's like everything is just, it's just ingrained in us. If we get a text message, if we get a, like we have to check our email or whatever it is. And it's like, I'm not saying that those things are horrible. Like, yes, we all have to make a living and like whatever. A lot of that is, tied to a computer, but it is interesting just to notice how much analog life we have that we have access to that's free.
Exactly. And this idea, I will say, was inspired by Caroline, who I think has talked about in the past. We've had conversations about wanting to beef up our analog skills.
Yes.
Right? Like, so that's great. You can edit a 20,000 word story. Can you chop an onion?
Great question. Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beefing up your analog skills. I seriously was just thinking, like, I bet there's a YouTube video for that. So awful. And I swear to God, like, I mean, it just think of your life before. This is me talking to myself. I need to think of my life before I had the internet. Like, what was I doing all the time? I mean, I was younger, but still.
Oh man. I mean, well, flashback to our last episode. We know what we weren't doing. We weren't drinking.
Doing meth.
Yes. We weren't dropping acid.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, those are analog activities, but I don't recommend them. But yeah, I mean, I think we all know what we're talking about here.
But wait, you wouldn't recommend them except to your 21-year-old self.
You're right. To my 21-year-old self, I wouldn't recommend meth, but I would recommend drinking and doing a lot of weed. That's what I would recommend. Yes.
And wearing your lingerie on the outside.
I would. Yes. Wearing some lingerie. Maybe not like completely on the outside, but more than not. So
good.
Yeah. But living an analog life. Okay. I will say that one thing that I really like to do that's analog that is like a big callback to something we've been talking about a long time ago was going to Trader Joe's and talking to the cashiers. All right, I have to tell you, Karen. So I went to Trader Joe's 3 days ago and I thought of you immediately because I was buying peaches and peaches are in season on the West Coast. They're probably in season everywhere. And I was like so excited about these peaches because peaches are one of my favorite fruits. And I was checking out and the woman was very friendly, just like super, just wonderful, very, very talkative. And we just had a whole convo about peaches that went real deep. And she was just like, I love peaches. I love peaches. I make this peach jam, peach, like pie, peach, whatever. And she's like, I even made peach preserves. And I was like, this is an amazing conversation about peaches. And like, really just always, it's so targeted to just what's in your cart. Like there's never like, how are you doing with your childhood trauma? Like, no, those conversations don't come up ever even though I'm here for it, like I would love to have a conversation about something else other than the food, but like, I get it. They're very on brand.
Yeah. You're not going to do any inner child work in the line with the cashier at Trader Joe's.
You're not.
But okay. So I'm glad this validates though, this thing that I've been told that they are trained to engage with you around something in your cart.
They really are. And not only are they trained to engage with you, but they're trained to engage with you in like an organic seeming way. Like it's
Right.
kind of like as if you were like with your BFF in line and you were talking about the peaches. Like that wouldn't be weird at
Yes.
all. It seems very just like, oh, this is a normal conversation and it's very pleasant. You know, it's worth going to Trader Joe's. It really is. Go out of your way, people, to go to Trader Joe's. I highly recommend it.
It's also very, like you're saying, it's affirming, it's very validating. Like, oh, what a good choice you're making here. Right.
Oh,
Like
yes.
it's always that.
It is. It really
Yeah.
is. There's so much love and acceptance as part of that process. There's like, if you've had a hard time, you're not anymore after Trader Joe's.
So wait, maybe we are doing inner child work.
Maybe we are.
Maybe I take that back.
There you go. Mic drop. Boom. Also, Trader Joe's, we're available for your sponsorship slots. Clearly, we already, patronize your business.
Yeah, send us some gift cards.
Yeah, send us some fucking gift cards. We will raffle them off. We'll keep some, but raffle off.
Yeah, I was going to say,
them.
Shh.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're not going to raffle shit. We're just going to keep them and buy more peaches. But yes, that is an analog activity. Going to the grocery store seems so normal, but it's actually kind of nice to be in like community with people.
Yes, I agree. I was at Whole Foods yesterday and it was great.
Yeah, it's nice. Did they strike up a combo with you?
No, he was pretty flat and he charged me twice for my kale and my bag of cherries was $15, but I still had a good time.
Fuck that guy. Like that. I'm glad that you had a good time. Charge you twice for kale. What? Already kale is so expensive at Whole Foods.
I couldn't believe it. And it was just like, am I going to drive 20 minutes back to be like, you charged me an extra $4.98?
Oh, wait, you didn't notice it in the moment? Oh, no.
Oh, no. I got
that's
home,
horrible.
and I never look at my receipt. I don't know what possessed me to look at my receipt. Yeah, no. And well, I'm glad I looked. I think actually I started looking at my Whole Foods receipt after I paid $40 for a bag of shrimp.
Oh, the shrimp Mageddon. That was the worst. That still hurts. That still stings.
So it's just like, it's an open wound. That $40 bag of shrimp is an open wound.
I'm so sorry. It makes so much sense that would be an open wound. That's horrible. Man, Whole Foods, Jeff Bezos, as if we need to be giving him more. Fucking hell. Wow. Yeah. Also, the fact that you didn't catch the kale, it wasn't your job to catch the kale, PS, but also the fact that like that got, into your credit card. No.
I've been trying to, when something like that happens, I always try to think of like something that has like tipped the karmic scale in my favor. Like, okay, I paid,
there you go,
$4.98 that I didn't for something I did not buy. However, I'm sure something else wonderful has happened that offsets it.
That's a wonderful, very positive, high vibration way of thinking. That's wonderful. It also probably helps to just like ease that wound a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not driving back to tell Darius that he overcharged me for the cow. I'm not doing it.
Seriously, Darius, what were you thinking? Like, that is so annoying. God. Oh, all right. Well, this has been very fun. And I could talk to you forever, Karen, but I really will be thinking about what I'm doing in my analog self. And also, I will try to make my analog activities actually analog. Maybe not listen to NPR while I'm walking, analog and non-analog. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. I want to kind of be pure about it. At least try that for 24 hours. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Let's report back.
Yeah, we'll report back. All right. Thanks, friends, for listening. We'll see you next week.